What's up? Happy New Year. Hey, we rolling out with a 4-game winning streak, and you know the last time that happened, we went to the Super Bowl.
That's
buddy.
right. That's right. I mean, let's just let's keep it as positive as we can, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, that was an interesting way to wrap up a crazy season.
Boy, wasn't it?
Oh man, I mean, to go from 1-7 in the first half to end up only losing 2 more games in the second half of the season, that I didn't see that coming at all. Like, that was just a roller coaster of a year.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all what, before we keep going into this thing, we want to thank everybody for helping us.
Big time.
We all needed the strength to get through this season. I think, in my opinion, was worse than last season.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But we made it, y'all. And
that's it.
It's time now, pound for pound. This is the last show for 2019.
That's it.
But we will be back in 2020.
That's
you
it.
already know
it. Oh, man. What's up, people who are already popping in? We got Jay saying what's up. We got Sensei, I'm going to go ahead and call that, saying yo. Bug saying Happy New Year. Everybody's saying Happy New Year, R2K.
Happy New Year,
That's
Bug.
right. Speed Falcon. Appreciate y'all, everybody being here, especially you, Fred. Appreciate y'all being here.
We see you, Fred. Yes. We see you.
I'll say this. I was telling my real good friend the other day, my best friend, might as well be my brother, that if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for chat, like, everybody showing up here in chat, I'd have washed my hands with this at halfway through the season,
It was rough, sure enough, but we all made it, man, as a Falcons family, man, and we thank you guys, man, because we got through this together.
That's it.
And it's time to get ready for the draft, man.
That's it. We are.
Combine coming up, Senior Bowl,
all that stuff.
East West Shrine game.
Yep, it is definitely like the focus now shifts.
Yes.
To the draft, to free agency, to the guys that we're keeping, to the guys that we can't keep, and I guess, burying the lead in a sense. Your boy came back. They decided to keep him.
Yeah.
Him and Dimitroff.
Yeah.
Which, man, I knew one of them was gonna go, at least one.
You know what? I thought so, but
I guess we was wrong on that one, wasn't we?
Man, we haven't been right on a lot of stuff this year, and I'm gonna be. I admit, a lot of things that I said. They crashed and burned.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I just knew without a shadow of a doubt that we was going, at least halfway through the season, that we was gonna fire Dan Quinn. We was gonna start over again, and I was already gearing up for, in a sense, another lost season. Everybody having to relearn a new system and all this other stuff, and then we start winning in the second half and start looking like the team that we thought we were going to be, at least on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, I was like, okay, maybe we end up keeping Dan Quinn, because I don't know about y'all or, y'all in the chat or you yourself. I don't know how many times I've made a mistake on my job and, had to eat crow and had to fix it, So I was willing to say, okay, fine. He figured it out by taking his hands off the wheel and putting Raheem Morris and Ulbrich in place. If that righted the ship, then I was willing to be like, okay, good. You fixed it in that sense.
Yeah, and as of right now, he has the answers right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if those answers continue to answer the problems that went on in 1-7 in 2020. But, I mean, let's go ahead and talk about it, man. How are you really feeling now that when Arthur Blank came out and cooled everybody before the game on Sunday so the team could focus?
Yeah, right.
Letting everybody know that Dan Quinn is definitely back.
He did the anti-Mike Smith thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like before, he let it slip that he was searching for something before he ever fired Mike Smith.
Yep.
Now he's, before the season ended, just let everybody know that they're coming back. I'll say this. I'm willing to see it out. I'm not happy about Cutter coming back. You know what I'm saying? But I understand. It's annoying, but I definitely see why you're going to bring him back for the continuity. But This is the same coaching staff and team that went 1-7, and yet you're gonna run it back again.
Well, I will say this much.
I don't get it.
I will say this much. Dan Quinn looked a lot more relaxed on the sidelines.
Oh yeah.
Since he made those changes.
Yeah.
You can tell that the weight was lifted off of him. Now, if I can see that relaxed Dan Quinn in 2020, you can start to make me a believer.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, I'll say this also. If that relaxed Dan Quinn meant that he gets to spend more time with the defensive line, and therefore you saw the technique progression of one, Vic Beasley.
Yeah.
You started to see him produce in the second half. You started to see the defensive line actually getting to the quarterback in the second half. If that's a result, then I'll take it. I'll take it all day long. And I wonder in a lot of ways how man, this is gonna. I'm excited in a sense because this is going to be an extremely interesting offseason. Like, who stays, who goes, man.
You know what? I want to talk about Grady Jarrett.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, the man, the monster.
We got ourselves one.
Yeah.
5th round pick.
Yeah, you got this. Look, anybody can say whatever they want to. This looks like our version of Tom Brady, right? I say that in quotes. Like, everybody likes to put out that Brady got picked in the 6th round. Nobody wants to talk about how every other team, even including the Patriots, passed over him until the 6th round.
Right.
But it looks like we got that type of guy, in Grady Jarrett. That dude is a straight monster.
He should have had 10 sacks this season.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple of sacks was taken from him.
I'm about to say, how many of them was taken by the refs?
Some stupid calls.
Yeah, especially that one out in San Francisco. I mean, what else was he supposed to do?
Exactly.
Pick him up and gently lay him down on the turf?
That, if I'm not mistaken, he did not get fined for it,
Nope.
which lets you know that neither one of those
should have been
roughing the passer.
That's right. But
I'm so excited about him, and I'm excited to see that Deion Jones looked like he's coming back.
Look, yeah, okay. I'm glad you brought up Deion Jones because I went back and watched, some games because I was like, man, is Deion just having a bad year? And am I just remembering this wrong? He's just not. He just hadn't had as many flashy plays that we're used to seeing him make.
Yeah.
Well, he had one on Sunday.
Woo! Ended the game.
He said, I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir.
He said, I'm ready to get to the beach.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready to clean out my locker. I'm ready to, let's just go on to the house.
And he went to the house.
He started. Should we consider him to be the author of the 30-30 Club or Jameis the author of the 30-30 Club? Wow, that dude. That
30 interceptions, man.
30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns.
That is just that is bananas, and not in a good way.
Finally,
I'm talking rotten bananas way.
Finally, a record that happens to Atlanta that we call somebody else to have.
Right.
I mean, he also did throw for 5,000 yards against us.
Well, I guess so. Bruce Arians loves to throw the ball and air the ball out too.
Oh yeah, you think Dirk Cutter don't want to run the ball? Bruce Arians definitely don't want to run the ball. Yeah, he wants to sling it all over the yard. That's for sure. But yeah, that 30th interception, you saw Winston just walk off shaking his head. That was.
Now, how you loving Jeff Albrecht calling both of those interceptions?
Oh, come on.
Ricardo Allen's interception.
Yeah.
And Deion Jones' game-winning
ending just talk about let's just go out here and get a pick six and walk it off. You know?
And did it.
And did it.
Did it.
Yeah, I was glad to see that they fully elevated Raheem Morris as the defensive coordinator, but also come out and said that Albrecht was still going to have a heavy role in the defense, and I think that's good.
Well, he should.
Yeah, I think he's earned it.
But you have to designate someone as the sole proprietor in that situation, so there's no confusion about who the boss man is.
And I think Raheem Morris, it was time for him to be the boss man again.
Yes.
And you can, if let's just go ahead and say that we have a good season next year. Quinn obviously comes back again. Yeah. Maybe now somebody starts looking at Raheem Morris as a head coach again.
Yes.
Now you can take more time grooming Albrecht as being your defensive coordinator.
Now I hate to say this.
Okay. What do you hate to say?
But some part of me believes that Dan Quinn may have put him in the other side of the ball on purpose.
To keep people away from him? to keep the shine off of him.
If he'd have been in this role
From
beforehand,
he'd have been head coach.
He'd have been head coach somewhere.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with that.
He's such a valuable guy.
Oh man,
and still young.
Yeah, and you saw almost an immediate impact on the defensive backs.
Immediate.
When he came over.
I'm talking seriously
immediate. Right. Like I started questioning what was Jerome Henderson even doing.
And I don't know if you guys was really looking at it the way that I was in this game, but those guys were actually running the routes for the players.
Yes.
And that's what was resulting in those interceptions. I mean, Ricardo Allen ran that route for the tight end so well to get that interception. I was sitting here like, wow. Is there any room for Keanu Neal to come back?
Oh, I see. That's an interesting question. Now, my question to you, if Keanu Neal comes back, do you play him at linebacker and keep KZ and Allen as safety? Because that's a good tandem.
Yes, because if Kamal Ishmael is not re-signed with the Atlanta Falcons, that's a perfect role to me in my mind to put Keanu Neal at.
Right, that hybrid linebacker safety role.
Yeah,
that would be. And then now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I think this is Keanu's 5th year, right?
Yeah, we're going into the 5th year option with him.
So
he came on 2016. Yeah,
so
2020 will be.
We could cut him and save that money.
Oh man, JR, come on, man.
I'm just saying we're going to get into it. Obviously, we might as well go ahead and get into it now.
So are you able to do that with the 5th year option?
Don't you remember people griping about that with Beasley last year?
Oh yeah, rescinding.
Because rescinding that 5th year option to save that $12 million or whatever it was, because they didn't think he was going to be worth it.
I tell you, man, the way Ricardo Allen and DeMonte Casey is playing together, it's gonna be tough to bring.
I wouldn't want to break that up. Yeah. That duo has been pretty good because you got KZ's ball hawking skills.
Yeah.
And with Ricardo Allen's just pure football intelligence and field general, I would hate to lose either one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of saw what happened with losing Brian Poole, and thinking that you were going to drop KZ down into the slot.
And that didn't work.
No, and Brian Poole went on to have probably one of his best careers or best years so far there with the Jets. So yeah, I think oh man, I'd be hard pressed to want to split up that. Let's get into chat for a few minutes. Let's see.
Anthony Wright, what's up?
Yeah. See, okay, somebody says what's up from Arizona. War Games up here.
Yes, sir.
C. Glenn says we made it. Yeah, we did. Charleston Nash says AJ Empinanza is the perfect fit. I've watched a little bit of him play. He's at the defensive end out of Iowa. Definitely going to get into watching some more of these guys. And as we go on, I definitely want y'all to hit us up with who y'all think we should take a look at, because I'm now gearing up to get into the draft stuff. So that's definitely going to be more of my focus. Speed Falcon says the off season begins. Yes, it does. Jay Holland says, why Toby, my wife, still say you sound like a preacher? Well,
hey, maybe one day.
Never know. Never know what the call of God has on for somebody's life.
You never know.
Johnny says he wants us to go ahead and talk about the draft. I guess he's done with the season. Bug says Jay Holland, and she thinks that I'm the youth pastor. I don't know about that. I don't like kids other than my own that much.
Hey man, you don't have to take them home with you.
That's true. Fred Butt, there he is. I knew he was going to say it. I tried to tell y'all he wasn't going anywhere. You did, Fred.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you credit. You said that he wasn't going to go nowhere.
You was on it.
Yep.
You was on it. But I will say this much. If that 1-7 Dan Quinn had came out, he was gone, Doc.
Oh, yeah.
But he turned it around.
Yep.
And speaking of turning it around, let's talk about some of the ways he turned it around.
Right.
He's implemented a lot of Mike Smith ways in what he's doing.
You are correct.
And that is highly confirmed. Mm-hmm. Receiving the ball instead of deferring it to the second half, which we know Mike Smith did, had a lot of success doing that. And now we heard in the presser that he's contemplating joint practices.
Oh.
How interesting is that?
Why do you need joint practices? Maybe so that you can see before it's too late that your team isn't up to snuff?
Maybe so.
Maybe you can see it before preseason that your team isn't really clicking on all cylinders.
Well, we shall see. But I definitely will be at camp. But Fred, you was right. He's here.
Yep.
So I'm going to give you that credit. Everybody's here. As a matter of fact, all of you that didn't want Dirk Cutter back, he's back.
I'm one that didn't want Dirk Cutter back.
All of us that didn't want Thomas Dimitroff, he's definitely back.
Oh, you weren't asking for a show of hands. Okay, my bad. Let's see. Jay Holland replying back to Bug. Let's see. Speed Falcon says, we are 30th in running the ball. Yeah, no doubt on that. It'd be interesting to see, speaking of that, like, what do you do now with Devontae Freeman and that high price tag? If you're not going to run the ball, I don't care what lip service you have saying that you're going to be more balanced or whatever, but you know who your coordinator is. If you're not going to focus on running the ball, you don't need to be paying a running back $10-something million a year.
I mean,
that's
in
just
my mind,
flat
no.
out. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. I think it's time to go for another back anyway.
Yeah.
I just do.
I mean, Devontae showed flashes that he can still play.
Yeah.
But
not behind this line.
Yeah, not behind this line and not for that price tag.
No.
I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. Isaiah Brown says they finally put Julio in the slot. Yeah, Julio's a killer in the slot. They need to continuously, no matter who they bring in, they need to continue to move Julio around. But that brings up another point. I don't think they need to bring another wide receiver in.
I think you're strong at that position.
Because Russell Gage has very much cemented himself as a number 3.
I do believe that you bring in some guys, undrafted free agents that don't get drafted in the draft, like Olamide Zaccheaus didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Blake. You know, you need to bring in some guys that can compete and develop.
Yeah, let them compete, let them develop, let them be on special teams. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Anthony Wright, your first comment, I know we shouted you out. He says, "What's up, fellas? I hope y'all both had a great Christmas and Happy New Year." Yeah, same to you, sir. I hope you had a good Christmas. Let's see, Johnny says the 49ers got Kittle late too, so that's another.
They got him in the 5th round. So
as much as I may have wanted, a new voice in the draft department, I can't necessarily dismiss some of the things that Dimitroff has been able to do.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I don't see Austin Hooper going anywhere. I think we do want to continue to form a semblance of what we had in 2012 with Dirk Cutter, with the Tony Gonzalez, Roddy White type of situation. Now you got Julio Jones, that's the older guy, and Calvin Ridley,
that's the younger
Julio
guy.
Jones.
Exactly. Right, yeah, but you still have a similar dynamic.
And your Harry Douglas in Gage.
Exactly.
So you need your Tony Gonzalez.
And that's Hooper.
Yeah.
You've put 4 years into developing Hooper to what he is right now, considered a top 5 tight end.
Yes.
So you don't just let that walk away. Let's see. Yeah. Anthony Wright says Deion Jones baited Winston in that play. He says he knew that Jameis Winston would make history against us as the first 30-30. Did you see the look on his face? Yes, I did. That was priceless. Let's see. Nobody was throwing to Deion Jones this season except Winston. That was a comment from Charleston Nash there. R2K says, so glad Crabman Winston decided he wanted to give us the game. Yeah, me and you both. It's much more enjoyable to talk about a win than it is a loss.
I did not want to get swept by them.
No, I did not want to get swept by them.
Because they would have been talking
mad junk. Did not want to. Look, we didn't get swept by nobody in our division.
Right.
So now all I need is for the Saints to lose in the playoffs, and I'll be all right.
I think we're all looking forward to that. And hopefully it'll come this weekend.
Yeah, I would love to see them just one
Those
and done.
turkeys got to play on the road.
That's right, in Minnesota. So
yes, sir. If they get by, they're going to be at home against Minnesota.
Oh, that's right. But
if they get by Minnesota, they got to go on the road.
Yep. Then see,
and that's what I wanted.
Our win down there in New Orleans after the bye helped set up them having to play on the road. So good deal there. Somebody says, finally got to watch y'all live. Let's see, says Slim Charles finally got to watch y'all live.
What's up, Slim Charles?
What's up, brother? I'm glad you dropped in. Glad everybody dropped in, man. Lucas says the financial possibilities to keep. Is it financially possible to keep Freeman and Hooper? I mean, it's financially possible, sure. Freeman would have to be willing to restructure his deal, and then you're possibly going to lose somebody even that you may value more, like a Alex Mack. I don't know if you're ready to let.
I don't think
with the state that the offensive line is in. I don't think you're going to be willing to let that veteran experience walk.
And Dan gave him a lot of praise in the presser.
Yep. So I don't think he's going anywhere.
Happening. I know I had toyed around with that.
Me and you both. I thought maybe, but I don't see that happening this year.
I don't see it happening.
Let's see. Fred Butt says he hopes Vic comes back. Well, we'll see what the price tag is. And we'll see. It's gonna be an extremely interesting offseason.
It was interesting after that presser
when
Thomas Dimitroff said that we're not in cap hell, and they go and
immediately
get
restructure. And I know somebody was bringing it up on Twitter about they could have gotten more or whatever. You know what? If they could have gotten more, don't you think they would have gotten more?
Yeah.
Don't you think they would have tried to get in the restructure as much as possible? You see what I'm saying? To automatically assume that the front office is, doing like the worst job possible is a very negative way to look at this team. And I think that you'll have you're going to give yourself heartburn in a sense if you go about it that way. So I guess maybe I'm, Mr. Optimism a lot of times or Mr. Sunshine, but I think that everybody's trying to do their best.
Let's not overlook the fact that the quarterback that a lot of people said don't need to be the quarterback anymore continues to play the Tom Brady role and give up some money.
And restructure his deal.
Restructuring his deal again for the second time since having that new contract.
Yeah.
To make way for get better on his team. And I applaud Matt Ryan for doing that.
If you don't think he's out here trying to win a Super Bowl, that's to me, that's hilarious when I see those comments come up talking about Matt Ryan ain't got that it factor, whatever that is supposed to be. He's doing everything he can. But as many of y'all will know and point out, you can't do this alone. This is a team game, period, point blank. Mm-hmm. And my biggest example of it's a team game, Trent Dilfer has a Super Bowl ring.
He sure does.
You want to sit here and try to tell me that he's a good quarterback?
No.
All right, then the flip side of that, Dan Marino don't have a Super Bowl ring.
And was one of the best to ever do it.
So you want to sit here and try to tell me that this ain't a team sport and that my quarterback isn't a team player? That I have a tough time hearing that.
I mean, 48 sacks and 135 QB hits.
God, don't, man.
And you still stand up strong and do what you do.
That's it. And you still restructure your contract.
Exactly.
And you still restructure your contract.
Even with all of that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get back up in here. Let's see. Keenan Lewis says, this last hurrah, all in, glad the staff's the same. Dan's a boxer. Didn't see any quit in him. There you go. That's a good way to look at it. Coming back up you can maybe consider this the 10th round.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Let's see. Gregory says, I'm really hoping we take this momentum into next season like we did in 2016. That's the hope. That is absolutely the hope that we build on this. You had I think you won 3 out of the last 4 last year, and it didn't carry over. So let's see if it does this time. Let's see. Anthony Wright's talking about Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. If we can get him with the extra second, that would be interesting. I know you were telling me earlier that you feel like DeAndre Swift might be a worthy first round back.
I think he is. I think he's an all around guy.
Right.
I wouldn't necessarily take him there at 16.
Right. But maybe if you trade back, maybe use them seconds.
Maybe. But, I mean, you don't really have to get a running back in the first round.
I don't think so.
Unless he's just serious Barry Sanders like.
Right. Or for the modern day example, like a Saquon or an Ezekiel Elliott.
Which I
don't see one of those in the draft this year. At least not yet. I said, again, I haven't done a ton of research. Sensei says, I think we might franchise Hooper. We may. I think you got a better shot of signing Hooper and then franchising Beasley than tagging Hooper and trying to sign Beasley if you're trying to bring both of those guys back. But that's just my opinion on that there.
And it's just gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
Oh yeah,
y'all.
It's an interesting.
Because we don't know now. But what we do know is that Dan is back.
Yeah,
Thomas is back, and Dirk Cutter is back. We know that. With that being said, looking at the schedule for next season, the opponents, this offense has some tough defenses that they're going to have to face.
Oh yeah,
in 2020.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said earlier, Cutter's going to have to figure out how to run the ball.
Yeah.
If not, we might beat this year's record for sacks.
Yes.
But R2K says, "Do y'all want Devondre Campbell to come back?"
Yes,
I do. I like Devondre Campbell
because
he's a versatile. He's a very versatile piece.
They played him very well.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it. If you can't figure out how to re-sign Vic, I definitely want Devondre Campbell back.
Yeah,
because he can give you some of the things that Beasley gave you in a chess piece rusher.
Yes,
you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, if they don't figure out how to re-sign Vic Beasley, then I definitely want Devondre Campbell back. Charleston Nash says, if I can give one thing Dimitroff does well is that he's good at creating cap space. He is that. He's good with cap. He's in this whole 12 plus years he's been here. We have never been in cap hell.
No.
Even with some bad contracts to Sam Baker and what was it? I keep wanting to call him Pariah.
Pariah
Jerry. Pariah.
That Dante Robinson was not a good deal either.
But you see, even with having some bad contracts, and he hasn't put us in bad cap position.
But you remember, at one point in time, it was never their philosophy to restructure contracts. They would not do it.
No, but I mean they're having to now.
Yeah, they are.
With Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, I mean you have to have to do some of this stuff. Let's see. Okay. Walter Math says, I'm excited to see who's going to be starting running back next year. I am too. Fred Budd says, Rich McKay will help control Dimitroff. It's going to be interesting to see like how much, if we'll ever know or ever figure out how much like say that Rich McKay actually has.
Yeah.
Because it's what it looked like more to me is that Arthur Blank felt like he was too close.
Yeah.
And needed to step back is what it seemed like to me. So it'd be interesting to see.
And I would have to agree with you on that. I think that is exactly what Arthur Blank felt. Mm-hmm. He had to remove himself from it. I think a lot of the decisions that was made was not really solely on Arthur Blank, but when he had the conversations with Rich McKay about the situation with Dan Quinn before the second half of the season came up. And, like I said, in the presser with Arthur Blank and Rich McKay, he brought up the analytical side of it, of their determining factor, because they had never seen this type of turnaround by any team in history, the way they've seen it turn around with Dan Quinn. So
it'd be interesting to see exactly how big Rich McKay's voice is this offseason for sure. Let's see. Here we go. We got Rock. Cam Reese Jackson says, what's up, fellas? Rock from What's Up Falcons. Happy holidays. So if the 2020 season ends with a one-and-done playoff show, is it considered Arthur Blank's fault for keeping everybody? I mean, look, after going two seasons, 7 and 9, if you get into the playoffs and at least make some noise, I would consider that progress. I don't know if I would consider that a negative. I don't know. I could be looking at it wrong there. I guess it depends on the type of playoff performance. Like if it's a Giants playoff performance where you only score 2 points, then sure, I'll be looking at everybody sideways.
So let's kind of look at Arthur Blank's decision.
All right.
From my angle, you can see one of the reasons why he stuck with Dan Quinn. We mentioned this before. A lot of retreads out there.
Yeah.
Coaches that have been coaches before, i.e. Ron Rivera, we just found out, signed with the Redskins today on a 5-year deal.
Yep. And, I'm talking, he wasn't on the employment line for not even a full
10
week.
seconds. So just imagine if Dan Quinn had been put back out on the market, he was getting a head coaching job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were rumors, floating around that he would have been heavily considered in Charlotte.
Yes.
Up there with the Panthers. So yeah, I mean,
and I think that was another part that weighed in on the decision of Arthur Blank.
yeah, I'm surprised in a lot of ways that McCarthy hasn't been snapped up already.
Something very funny about that.
Yeah,
But like I said before, if he didn't come with the Falcons, I didn't see him really going with anybody else. Now, he could still become the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. They interviewed him twice.
already. Yeah, they've interviewed him twice already.
But they are wearing their options, though.
Yeah, true.
Their options.
Oh man, the part that's surprising me is how many teams are still putting in requests to talk to Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
After that crap he pulled in Indy, I mean that is just. I didn't think he would get a sniff at a head coaching job outside of New England.
Yeah.
So that really kind of shocked me. But how about I know this is like a little bit more like NFL centric than necessarily Falcon centric, but how about the Browns still going brown?
Boy.
Oh,
They got coaching disasters and GM disasters over there.
oh yeah, they cleaned house yet again.
At least we're not them.
Right. And I think to tie it back into our team, I think that's what was one of the driving decisions for Arthur Blank to stay the course.
Yeah.
When you look at teams like the Browns and the teams like the Jags, who, by the way, kept their coaching staff as well.
Yep, they kept Maroon. But see, I think another thing, like, again, retread coaches. You don't have that hot coach out there. There's no sense in making that move.
Right. So I think Arthur Blank is betting on a more of a Saints-like outcome than wanting a Browns-like outcome. I felt like if he started, if he got rid of Dan Quinn, that he was going to start down that slippery slope of becoming the next Cleveland Browns. And that's not what he wanted, obviously. But after watching the New Orleans Saints go 7-9 3 years in a row, keep their head coach and everybody together, and then they turn it around.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he's definitely betting on.
Here's the thing, though. The key there is Sean Payton understanding his identity. Mm-hmm. Okay, he didn't have Dennis Allen at those times. He was going 7-9.
No. He had to get him a defensive coordinator who can handle it.
He had to get his Greg Williams.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what he went out and did. Okay, and now thus getting back to their identity of what they do has allowed them to win 3 straight seasons of winning a division.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that there towards the end of Mike Smith's tenure, that was his problem. He lost his identity.
Yes.
And if nothing else, at least Dan Quinn seemed to re-find his mid-season. Got back to the type of football that, he wanted to play. So, all right, let's get back to chat. Where was I at? Okay, Charles Nash says, Falcons all-season path, extend Austin Hooper and Tyler Davidson. Good, bringing him up. Yeah, I would like to keep him. Extend Brian Hill and Kenyon Barner. Yeah, Barner's made a fan out of me.
Yes, he has.
I'll say that. I'm glad to see somebody with some actual vision, like returning kicks and punts, and can be used, as a running back as well. So I'm
Now, he may not want to make any more mention
Oh,
about
Lord.
the New Orleans Saints going to the Super Bowl
he didn't
on Twitter.
I saw that and I was like, "Oh, what you done did? That's not what you want to do, right there, dog."
You don't want to do that, buddy.
Anthony Wright says, Kenan Lewis says, "What about 7? Number 7? That's Koo, right? Young Wei Koo."
Yeah, Young Wei Koo.
Yeah, we need to re-sign Koo. I mean, as far as like kickers go, I don't think you need to let him walk, especially in the kickoff, like onside kick department.
What about Allen? Because Allen was booming it.
True. I mean,
think Ben Kotwica has his group of guys, man, that he's going to fight for in the offseason.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
and I would hope that they would keep those.
And
guys.
those 3, I think Bosher, I believe he's gone.
I think so. I think Bosher's gone.
Yeah.
And we'll get into some more guys here in a minute, but Anthony Wright says our top priority is Austin Hooper, then try to re-sign Vic and Tyler Davidson. I agree with all that.
I think Austin Hooper is.
I think he's
big time top.
Yeah,
priority,
I think he's top priority.
You need your Tony Gonzalez in this offense. The Falcons have been trying to go toward that type of offense, and I think next year, just my opinion, that you're going to see Dirk Cutter, being a little bit more dirt cutter.
Yeah, more of a 2012 type dirt cutter.
Now that he's seen what this playbook is all about.
Yep.
I think he's going to be I'm just throwing it out. I think he's going to be the one closer to cracking the code of the Kyle Shanahan offense than
I hope you're right on that
Steve
one.
Sarkisian.
I really do hope you're right on that one. Southside said if Dirt Cutter don't do something this year, he got to go. I agree.
Yeah.
You know, if he stinks it up again, you know, crap, I lost my place. If he stinks it up again, yes, I agree that he have to go. That's for sure. Let's see. ATL Leo says, I would love for the Saints to lose in the playoffs and more so to blow it in the Super Bowl. There's part of me that wants them to make it to the Super Bowl and then lay the most epic egg. I want something like up 36 points and lose or something. I know that's asking a lot, but man, that's
y'all. I just don't know if my heart is going to be able to take it at the Saints, because even if they make the Super Bowl and they don't win it, they are still going to
try to rub it
mad
in.
crap.
Let's see. Walter Matt says the problem wasn't for us to find the identity on the field. The problem was we didn't have identity to the coaching style we wanted to go with. I agree. I think they tried to make some changes that didn't work.
Yeah.
You know, as far as changing up the philosophy and stuff like that. Keenan Lewis says, did O-line get gifts from Matt? Because I'm assuming he's talking about how like Lamar Jackson bought his O-line Rolexes and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think Matt Ryan's giving out any gifts.
No, I don't. You know,
they should
he's
be giving
probably
Matt
still
Ryan
in the
gifts.
ice tub right now.
They should be giving Matt
from all
Ryan
those hits
gifts.
he's
Good
taking
Lord.
in sacks.
Let's see. Dan Quinn said there is going to be a competitive kicker battle. I mean, that's fine. Bring in somebody for competition, sure.
But that's coach speak.
Yeah, you know.
You're always talking about competition.
Right, you always want competition. Somebody says linebacker Simmons. James Claiborne says linebacker Simmons would be look good next to Debo. You'll have to tell me where Simmons is from.
Y'all ready to get into this draft,
Yeah,
aren't you? Just hold tight. We're going to get into that in 2020. It's coming. We got to celebrate these 4 wins that we got.
At least a little bit. Come on. At least for a little while.
It's coming, though.
Southside 12 says people in New England want Sanu's head. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, Southside, because I've always heard that Matt Ryan don't make no wide receivers. That it's Julio Jones that makes Matt Ryan. If I'm not mistaken, when Mohamed Sanu came here, he was like the 3rd, 4th option in Cincy.
Had some of the best numbers he's ever had since being here with the Atlanta Falcons.
Goes up to the New England Patriots with the GOAT himself and the boy genius or man genius, Josh McDaniels up there.
Yep.
And the man can't catch a cold.
Nothing. And even with as good as Tony Gonzalez would admit that Matt Ryan was a huge piece of helping him getting to that Hall of Fame.
That's it. So yeah, that's another one of those things that we can just squash right there. Let's see. Darren Moore says, Happy New Year. Can't wait to see what we do in the upcoming offseason. I agree.
Happy New Year.
Says, I'm glad. Fred Butt says, I'm glad Rich McKay has more control. He knows defensive talent. Well, we'll see how that goes. Maybe like you said, maybe he can be that Scott Pioli that Dimitroff needs.
Falconator, what's up?
Yeah, Falconator says, what's up, JR? Toby came late. That's all right. You here, and we appreciate it. That's all good. Let's see. Okay. Speed Falconfly says, we got to go 11-5 next season because the NFC is loaded. You might be right there. You might be right. May have to.
Parity is realer than ever, y'all.
Oh, yeah, it is that.
It is realer than ever. I mean, everybody's getting talented now. You're going to have to find that edge to be able to get over next season in 2020.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure it out. You're not going to be able to run it back the exact same way.
No.
And expect completely different results.
But I'll tell you what, I'm excited about Ben Kutwicka.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm excited about that guy with what I've seen, how he turned that special teams unit around. I mean, they're knocking balls out of people's hands, hitting the heck out of them.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
I'm down.
It's been wonderful just watching that and to see what that can hopefully come out to be next season, especially with them nailing it on onside kicks.
Oh, yeah. No, that's going to be – you can turn special teams into a weapon.
Yes.
I mean, the Dark Dynasty up north has done that for years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm down with that. Let's see. Anthony Wright says, right now we have 3 picks in the first 2 rounds. I'd like to get another second rounder or 2-man to have 4 or 5 picks. Yeah, I would love to have that. I just don't know how you're going to pull that one off. Falconator says, to be honest, Falcons will bring back Hooper, Vick, and Barner. Well, that's a bold prediction there, Cotton. We'll see if they can pull that off. That would be great. I would love to see them all come back.
And they just might, but it's going to have to be some major changes to be able to get these guys back on the roster.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see where it has to be trimmed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's going to be the
somebody
question.
said earlier, like, they would love to see them bring Claiborne back. He might be one of those that you might not be able to re-sign.
I don't see Claiborne coming back.
I don't know if you're going to be able to bring him, like, money-wise.
Yeah, I mean, even so, I just don't see him. I think he will be one of the guys that will be sacrificed.
Yeah.
You brought him back because you felt like the energy was back for the Falcons to go to a Super Bowl. Because the energy definitely was there.
Oh, yeah, in the offseason.
Yeah,
it
was cooked up well, but it fell flat.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. So, let's see. Walter Mathis says we should have hired Dwight Freeney for a mentor for Vic and Tack. I mean, if that's something he'd want to do, I'd be down for it for sure. Let's see. Fred Butt says number 30 should be our starting running back. Olesen. I don't know if he's necessarily ready for a starting running back role. I do like the fact that they were starting to use him more towards the end of the season. I was really wondering why you even drafted him if you were just going to sit him on the bench, a la Deidrin Sunot.
Yeah.
But,
that's a head scratcher.
Yeah. That is definitely.
It will be interesting to see moving forward how much more involved number 30 is going to be next season.
Yeah. I mean.
Or are the Falcons going to draft another running back? What's going to happen with Freeman? These are a lot of questions that we don't know and are anxious to see.
This is what we get to, talk about, now that we don't have games to talk about, right? We get to talk about, who we like free agent-wise, draft-wise, who we want to see back, who we don't want to see back, things like that. That's what makes the off-season fun. Let's see. Anthony Wright says, we have to run the football, though. We need 2 backs. The starter reach 1,000 yards. I mean, we do need.
I just don't see a 1,000-yard rusher in a dirt cut offense.
No.
What Freeman got is about what I see. And if you split that up between 2 backs to have 1,000 yards together, that's probably more like what you're going to get more so than 1 back doing it. Gotcha. I don't know a back yet that has had 1,000 yards except for Fred Taylor when they was with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right. Yeah, no, that was probably one of the few times that you did have a 1,000-yard back with Dirk Cutter. Bernard Mack says this was a bad decision by Arthur Blank. He was scared to make a decision. We will be mediocre again. We need to make some moves to be great. I'm surprised that I haven't actually seen more comments like that in our chat today because there's an argument to be made that it was a bad decision to bring everybody back.
But here's the thing. You got to understand, and I said it before, Arthur Blank is a businessman, and he believes in a business model.
True.
And I told you guys before that when he said that he wanted a coach that could add on to some of the things that Mike Smith brought here, you're starting to see now Dan Quinn starting to do that.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how much more of Mike Smith ways that he's going to roll over in 2020 because he's definitely already started that. Like I said, receiving the ball in the first half of the game instead of deferring it to the second half, and they've had great results because of that.
Yep.
In the second half of the season wasn't the only time they did that. If you guys remember, they started doing that week 2 against the Eagles, and they ended up winning.
Yeah.
So Dan told us he experimented with a lot of things in them first 8 games. And he felt like those experiments finally got the results he needed as he implemented them in the second half.
Right.
And they worked.
And he felt like that the team was starting to finally play
yes.
complementary football. And they were.
And like I said, I'm going to be curious to see if he's going to change the practice regimen from mornings to evening like Mike Smith used to do.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see how it goes.
And will music still play a huge part on the field? Because Mike didn't do that.
No, Mike didn't do that. But I, for me personally, I think I think stuff like that is a good because you're simulating game noise at that point.
Yeah.
And you're forcing them to have to communicate, which they said flat out was off last year and the first part of this year. So, didn't they say they had people mic'd up and recording?
Yeah.
And be like, hey,
he wanted to hear you.
So,
but it's going to be interesting to see. I'm just saying, I'm curious to see how much he's going to take out of Mike Smith because it looks like he's changing a lot of ways from the Pete Carroll way.
Yeah.
Okay, because he's seeing some of the Pete Carroll things that he learned
has
not consistently worked.
Hadn't panned out as well. Let's see. John says, Jay Ronnie says the O-line got to earn gifts. Yeah, they definitely didn't this year.
Most definitely
did not. Charleston Nash, Matt Gano should replace Ty Sombrello. I agree with that. Matt Gano has earned more playing time.
I'm glad he brought up Ty Sombrello because we got to give him a shout out for that touchdown.
Hey, look, he looked good.
He made history.
Look, hey, Joker can't block nobody, but at least he caught a touchdown.
Oh, man. I mean, he was gone.
He looked pretty good running
He was booking it.
Maybe he could slim down and be a tight end.
It might be possible. You know how Dan Quinn likes to change position of guys.
He ain't much of a tackle. I'll give him, I'll say that. But so yeah, we made the comment about Matt Ryan and the receivers, and we got a lot of people saying, Anthony Wright talking about Muhammad Sanu, Harry Douglas, who made them exactly, and then somebody else brought up down here Southside, brought up Devin Hester had like 700 something yards, and also Chicago's still looking for Taylor Gabriel to show up. So I don't know how, yeah, exactly. I agree completely. But somebody did bring up something here. I was trying to get down to it. Well, I'll say this. R2K says Vic can walk. He doesn't deserve to come back next year. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel he's, even now, is still too inconsistent.
Listen, nobody's going to really be happy, especially when we go 7-9.
Yeah, you ain't going to be happy, especially when you draft a guy 8th overall.
Which Arthur Blank already counted the win before we even got it on Sunday. He felt that confident.
Yep. Well, then you had the reverse opposite that the AJC tweeted out a headline saying that we lost the game before the game even ended. So, yeah, that's funny. But let's see. Oh, pick it up. R2K says Dirk is stuck in a passing game. The male more than, passing more than running. Yeah, for sure. Somebody brought up that Charleston Nash, that's the comment I've been trying to read, is John Kaminsky is AC's replacement. And I could make that case. He started, they started getting some more playing time towards the end of the season. He showed up good against a handful of good plays in the Tampa game.
Either him or Jack Crawford. Because will Jack Crawford be back next season?
That'd be an interesting one there too. But they need to get consistency in the middle of the line or the middle of the defensive line. And the reason why I say that, because what I did like to see is a lot of times they had Grady lined up as a defensive end as well. Mm-hmm. So I like the chess pieces that they were finally starting to do with Grady and Vic and, moving these guys around. If that's Raheem or if that's Ulbrich, either way, I applaud them for, actually trying to create some mismatches, which was good to see there towards the end of the season. Let's see. Keenan Lewis says we have 4 running backs on the team. We started with 6. Did we get rid of some? I guess Ito.
Yeah, Ito got hurt.
So it'd be interesting. Like I said, I just don't see Freeman coming back. Money, role. I just don't see where it makes sense to bring him back. Let's see. Keenan Lewis says the Bengals kept Marvin Lewis 10 years, 1 playoff. Let's rock with a team support till goes a long way. True. I mean, a lot of people said they should have moved on from Marvin Lewis a lot sooner than they did. But they moved on from Marvin Lewis, and now
they're not doing anything.
What they do? They get the first overall pick now.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I guess if they end up with Joe Burrow and he continues his epic run.
That's if Joe Burrow don't pull a Eli Manning.
Oh yeah, and say I don't want to play there. Yeah, that's a thought too. Let's see. Walter Matt says the only thing that gets me mad. Matt Ryan has been in the league for 11 years and still has rookie tendencies. I mean, I guess if I'm not exactly sure what you mean by rookie tendencies. Maybe when he's running for his life and fearing that he's going to get clobbered,
I mean,
he may go on some bad habits, I guess. I don't know.
You're getting sacked 48 times, which is the highest in your career.
Yeah, I think you'd have some bad tendencies as well.
135 QB hits.
That's
a lot.
That's
man.
a sore back is what that is. Bernard Mack says Quinn was a defensive coordinator, took over the defense, and it got worse. How does this guy keep his job? Continuity, I think, is what it ends up being, you know. And like you pointed out, it seems like a year of a lot of retreads. Maybe Blank didn't see a better option out there. Let's see. Justin N says something telling me that Olesen is the running back of the future. I'll be interested to see. If nothing else, I think we're going to have a platoon type situation, and I think Olesen could carve himself out a good role.
I just didn't see enough.
Well, I mean, yeah, he didn't get to play enough.
I just didn't see enough. Like, you got to see enough with Michael Turner behind Tomlinson, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Right.
You got to see enough of that, which convinced you to go
and trade for him
and get Michael Turner in free agency.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Free agency.
I didn't see enough of Olesen. I think Olesen could be something, but there's got to be more shown for me to be convinced that he would lead the running back class.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to say he'll lead the running back class, but I'm glad to see that. I feel like now we have a power back on the roster.
Yeah,
that I don't feel like we've had in 4 or 5 years easy.
But you need someone who has the versatility of catching the ball, and running it, man, especially in a dirt cutter.
Yeah, in that
offense.
Screen game.
For all we know, Ito could be the one,
right,
to win that starting role.
I think if they bring back Brian Hill, I think if you had a stable of Brian Hill, Ito Smith, Olesen, and Kenyon Barner, I think for Dirk Cutter, I think you would have what you needed.
I think you would. I think you would.
And I think that you could have it at a pretty cheap rate.
Yes.
Because I don't think anybody's going to be beating down your door or beating down Brian Hill's door to sign him.
But you're going to have to trim it somewhere. And if you trimmed it, I think that would be the position group that you would trim from, with Devontae Freeman possibly not being there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that it's a that I think we saw Sunday the last game of Devontae Freeman in a Falcons uniform.
And it could possibly be.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just the way I see it. Let's see. Fred Butt says, what do y'all think our biggest need in the offseason is? A left guard? I mean,
I'm going, yeah, we do need a left guard bad.
Yeah.
But you know, Dan Quinn and them are not really the type that draft one unless they have someone like a Lindstrom there.
Right.
I haven't gotten into the draft enough. That's not really my area. But shout out to the guys that did respond to my tweet about prospects this year.
If y'all got them, if y'all got prospects that y'all want us to take a look at, please send it our way.
Yes, sir.
I'll go. Normally we wait till the very end, but I'll go ahead and put it out there now because we're getting close. But my Twitter handle, like y'all know, is Grim1128. That's GRIMM1128. If there's some prospects that y'all want us to take a look at, shoot it my way. And
yes, Toby D 1991. You already know, man.
Right.
You got prospects. That's not really my area there. I don't watch a lot of college football other than Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, man, someone got me up on Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, for that dude out of South
Carolina, man.
The defensive tackle.
I'm really feeling that dude right now next to a Grady Jarrett.
That would be interesting. Jay Holland says, let's talk about how good Russell Gage has looked. Let's talk about Russell Gage.
Let's do it.
Man went from a special teams gunner to a legitimate number 3 wide receiver.
Yes.
And because of his speed and his shiftiness, I think he's going to benefit a lot from Dirk Cutter.
Yes.
And the screen game that Dirk Cutter likes to run.
And I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that he could possibly be better than Harry Douglas.
He could be. he could be a better version than Harry Douglas. Yeah, I'm really liking what I've seen from Russell Gage for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he has squarely made it to where I don't think you're bringing back Justin Hardy.
No, I think Justin Hardy is gone. And it was kind of funny when him and Justin Hardy was on the sideline talking. You know, I believe Justin knows that his days are.
Oh, yeah, that his days are up.
I mean, we barely even knew Justin was on the team.
Yeah, there was times that I forgot all about
Yeah.
the fact that Justin was on the team. And Falconator says something, have we seen the 2020 schedule? Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, I know we're playing one game out in London next year, a home game out in London. So we got some tough teams.
Defenses,
yeah.
man. This offense is going to face tough defenses.
Yeah, they got to get this line right, or we might break the record again.
Oh, man.
So let's see. Nash talking about the AJ guy in the first round, a center, left guard, and a D-line is his mock draft so far. So, yeah, I mean, that sounds like, a defensive end, a center, and a left guard. That,
Yeah.
I don't know if you would take a center in the second round if you're going to keep Mac. I can see that you taking a left guard in the second round and then maybe another D lineman or a cornerback, because that's the name we haven't brought up because he's on IR, but I bet you Trufont's gone too.
Yeah. I'll tell you one relieving factor that I feel good about is we no longer have to worry about Julio Jones going into the next year.
Oh, yeah, we don't have to worry about talking about his contract or nothing like that.
That is done now.
Yeah, we can put that one behind
and
us.
I think that's a huge one. Him and Matt Ryan are taken care of now.
Yep.
You got your 2 star pieces, man, and then you got star pieces on defense. I don't think we're far off from getting back there, but this coaching has to step his game up.
Yeah, they have to.
Big time.
It's point blank. They got to get back on point. So, let's see. Yeah, let's see. Marty Young, what's up, Marty? Says, with how deep the receiver class is, I would not be surprised if we take a better running mate for Ridley in the future. With the high pick, Julio is not going to be Julio forever. I think you'd have people's heads explode if you took a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds.
Y'all, I'm just going to tell you this much. I think Julio is going to be able to play a long time. I just don't know if the Falcons going to be able to afford to pay him another contract. But this guy here, he's been very healthy since 2014.
Right. I mean, he's been banged up, but not unable to perform.
Dude is still making spectacular plays going at almost 31 years old.
Nuts catches.
And I think he's gonna be able to play that contract out plus some. So
it'd be interesting to see what the end of Julio's career looks like.
Yes.
If it's a Calvin Johnson-esque, like I'm just done and walking away.
I don't see it.
Or,
he said it himself best. He said if he ever stopped playing at a high level and felt like he was hurting the team, that's when he would leave.
Right.
And right now he's not hurting the team. He's still separating. He's still making spectacular catches.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's breaking records still.
Yes.
It's nuts,
Yes. It's like his career just started.
Almost. It's like a second resurgence in a sense, which I'm down for, Let's see. You mentioned this earlier a second ago, but Falconator says, talking about the press conference was somebody commented, like Lieutenant Dan saying something about it being nothing but hot air. It was coach speak.
It's coach speak.
It's coach speak and GM speak as far as that goes. They weren't going to say nothing. But I will say this, it's interesting that until that decision got announced, you didn't hear a peep out of Dimitroff.
No.
And then once it got announced, you get 2 press conferences?
Yep, 2.
Like I almost want to go, where were you at before?
Yeah.
Like, that's just, he did that same stuff with Smith. I almost feel like I don't know if it's, Arthur Blank saying, no, you don't need to have a press conference.
It may have been PR.
Or, PR purposes.
PR may have been advising him not to do that right now with all that was going on. And that was, to me, a great decision, not saying anything right now until
for him,
everything was
until all the dust settled.
Now, part of me is feeling that they're not too happy about Rich McKay being more involved. You can kind of tell between both of them that they're kind of like, dang,
It's almost like somebody put a it's almost like you got two parents, right?
Yeah.
Like you got the parent that you want to go ask if you can go do something, and then when they tell you to go ask the other one, you're like, oh crap, because the other one may not be so lenient, so to speak, and that's almost the way it feels like with Arthur Blank, because he is so emotionally invested.
Yeah.
And that the Falcons are his baby, it's almost like he wants to do everything he can.
Yep.
To help, and now you have a possible taskmaster as a boss now in Rich McKay.
And it kind of makes me wonder if Rich McKay was not the one that put a halt on trading Devontae Freeman to Detroit Lions.
Yep, I wonder. And I also wonder, and y'all, go with me on this or not, I wonder how much Arthur Blank having to step back because of things like the leverage with the Julio Jones thing and the leverage with the Grady Jarrett thing.
Yep.
Like, because Arthur Blank would straight up tell you, these are going to be our Falcons for life.
Yep.
And now you're sitting down at the bargaining table, and the player's sitting over there like, man said I was going to be a Falcon for life. So this is what it's going to take to make me a Falcon for life. And taking, like, the leverage right out from under the knees of Dimitroff.
You could kind of tell that they aren't really feeling that, but they're going to have to get over it.
Oh, they are, for sure.
You got 279 seasons.
I mean, you're on a short leash.
Overhead.
Right. Yeah. You're on a short leash.
Yes.
Anthony Wright's bringing up, what about getting Mohamed Sanu back if New England releases him for a cheaper price?
You're not going to need him.
I don't think you're going to need him.
Russell Gage has shown that.
I mean, with Russell Gage and then also Dirk Cutter willing to move Julio back in the slot, I don't think you need to bring Sanu back.
Yeah.
I like Sanu, don't get me wrong. I loved his attitude. I loved his toughness. But with Austin Hooper emerging, he kind of takes that role. Sanu was filling in for that like safety blanket tight end role because we didn't really have one.
And I'm excited about Graham.
Oh, yeah. Jaden Graham,
man. I he kind of fizzled off a little bit at the end. But he's shown some flashes that he can do some things. I think he needs to work on his blocking.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons he fizzled off a little bit.
Yeah, he's gonna have to work on his blocking. That much is for sure. Right.
But I don't see Luke Stalker still being here.
No.
I think that experiment is over.
Well, I will say this. In the second half, at least he did like stabilize some.
Yeah, a little bit.
He wasn't necessarily being like the dumpster fire that he was.
He wasn't no world beater, though.
Well, no, I ain't saying he was no world beater, but like I said, maybe we can slim down Ty Sombrello and
maybe so.
Maybe
we'll
he can be better. I don't know.
To be continued. But man, we don't went over an hour.
Yeah, we have.
Which is something we normally don't do.
Well, we appreciate y'all sticking with us this whole time. Now, look, going forward, the format is going to stay the same. But we're probably going to go to maybe every other week, maybe.
Yeah.
Going forward now that we don't have necessarily, a game to talk about every week. But, and maybe by next time we sit down and do this, I'm trying to also get together some stuff about maybe being able for y'all to call in and leave voicemails, if that's something that y'all might be interested in. I'm looking into that. Just trying this off season is going to be filled with some experiments from us as well.
We're going to experiment too. Shoot, Dan Quinn was able to do it.
Yeah, might as well, right? I know. So we're going to try to mix some things up, have some guests on. Like I said, try to do the voicemail thing. We're going to try to probably have Jonathan back over the off season.
Most definitely.
Y'all seem to enjoy him.
Have him back.
But anyway, Happy New Year's to everyone. I hope y'all stay safe tonight. Thank y'all for spending a little bit of y'all's New Year's Eve with us. Like I said before, you can find us on Twitter. And for somebody, I think it was Keenan Lewis that says it doesn't have Twitter or doesn't do Twitter, you can always leave a comment underneath the video. They go archive on YouTube, so you can always go back and leave a comment. We see all the comments. So if there's something that you want to get at us, that's another way that you can get at us. But like I said before, I'm Grim1128. That's GRIMM1128.
And I'm Toby D 1991. And you can find us on Facebook too. So if you want to put something on Facebook, if you're more than Facebook than Twitter, go for it.
Yep. And then Keenan Lewis saying something about a meet and greet. If they do like the practice at the stadium, like they did, like they've been doing, if they do that again, we may try to set up something there.
Yeah.
You know, at least, tell y'all where we're going to be so y'all can come by and say hi or whatever. But anyway, well, that's going to do it. Appreciate y'all sticking with us in the 2019 season. Hopefully we'll have a better season next year.
Hopefully
and
so.
As always, Falcons fans,
Rise
rise up.